Welcome to Time to Shine. I'm Tristan Kerwin, and I'm a creative marketing strategist over at Generate Sales and Marketing.
And I'm Lisa Fronick. I'm the owner over at Generate Sales and Marketing.
Also known as my boss. So
Her
hopefully
boss.
this goes.
The boss.
The boss. Anyways, Time to Shine is our mostly weekly production where we join all of you online, talk about latest promotional product trends, and bring you bright ideas. Lisa, tell us a little bit about Generate.
So Generate is a creative force in the promo marketing industry. What we try to do is convince everyone and let them know that these are not just items to be given away. These are items that can give back. So we are very passionate about them being a huge part of your marketing plan, not just kind of like the last thing you think of what we're giving away, but actually something that you can craft your campaigns around to really make sure that you're hitting your goals, hitting that ROI that they can be so good at helping you to get a return on.
Thank you. That was a perfect segment to what we're talking about today. So this is our third episode in our 4-part event marketing series, which we never came up with a more creative name for.
We didn't. No.
It is what it is. And sometimes you just have to be direct in this industry.
The good news is we've been too busy to do that. So it's a good problem. It's a good thing.
problem.
Yeah.
So the third episode segment of this series is us focusing on day of stuff. That's my professional opinion. So episode 1 was all about selecting the right events and setting your goal and scheduling your follow-up. Episode 2 was about creating your day of strategy so that when you arrive, you know what you're doing, you know what you have to purchase, you know who's attending the event, all that good stuff. So if you haven't watched those 2 videos, go back and watch them. But today is all about, hey, we're at the event. Now what do we do, right? You have your strategy, you have your goal, all that good stuff.
You should, hopefully you have
right?
your strategy and your goal.
And if not,
if not, we're still giving some good information on, things you shouldn't do, but
that's true. Well, and to just kind of tease that a little bit. So I have 2 main questions for you today, but the second part of this is us talking about event, day of event do's and do nots. So do not panic if you're unprepared. Come up with your strategy on the spot.
Or call us in a panic and we'll give you your strategy.
We will. There's always a way.
Yeah,
there's always a way.
We're a phone call away.
So question number 1.
All right.
What advice do you have for exhibitors when it comes to qualifying booth visitors, right? So we're kind of fast forward at that point where, episode 2, they've selected the activity or their engagement moment to get someone to their booth. Now what?
How do we qualify? So the person's at your booth, you're having the conversation, right? So,
yep.
All right. I would say the best advice that I could give people here is, because we don't want to seem salesy, right?
Right.
And the easiest way to not be salesy is to be passionate about the help that you're offering, the service that you're doing for them. So if you have a service mindset, whatever it is that you're selling, is you're making it helpful and needed by that individual, and you're not going to come off salesy, and it's going to lead into the conversation for you to qualify that lead. So qualifying the lead can be as easy as just saying, is there something that we maybe do that could be of service to you, that could help you out? And that's a great way to start that conversation. So, we spoke to someone the other day who literally said, my boss doesn't like promo items, won't let me spend the money.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, well, and of course, because we're us, right? Did we say, well, then we'll talk to you later because you're not for us?
Right,
no, we actually said, well, okay, but is there a way that we can maybe partner?
Yep.
Or are there some things that we can show your boss that might help? And, can we present to your boss to explain to them how important these items really are? And, find that the boss didn't like the items, but you know what? Consumers do. The people, that you're talking to do. So that kind of becomes a little bit more important, and that's demonstrable. So it lets you know where you are. If you just straight out ask the question, but you don't ask, can I sell you this pen? you
right?
know,
Because it's going to be a
no,
hard,
it's,
yeah.
yeah. So come at it from a service standpoint. How can I be of service? Is there something that we do or a product or service that we offer that could be helpful to you?
Yeah.
What are your pain points? What are the things, that what are the stumbling blocks that you find in whatever industry it might be?
I have to say, you've taught me a lot about that, and you're really good at it because it does take practice. Like right out the gate, unless you have some mad skills, like it takes practice, right? And you have to cultivate that. And I really envy that about you. I've gotten better with that over the years. But what are like some initial questions, or at least one example, like what's an initial question that you like to ask people you're trying to get to know in a business setting? Like, how do you kind of warm up that conversation?
Uh, you know, See, I'm so extra. This is
You
a hard
are,
question because
yes.
I'm so extroverted anyway. I mean, I can talk about a story from 10 years ago when you
Yep.
and I were on one of our first sales calls together.
Yep.
And I was taught we myself and our prospect were we just kept talking about our dogs. And
Yep.
you kept just like very specifically going, okay, well, we're here to talk about promo, so let's go
It's
back to that and
true.
like
Okay, and
pivoting.
for viewers, that was 10 years ago. I'm so much better.
She's so much better now. But so sometimes it's not a business conversation.
Yep.
You know, you depending on the setting where you are, what's going on around you, just be yourself and see if there's some place you can connect with that person. Pay attention. If you're in their office, is there a picture of their kids, their dogs, their favorite sports team, what's around that you can pick up a cue from and connect with? And not everybody's your client.
Yeah.
So I mean, to just kind of go back to the dog comment again, if I say something about a dog and the person I'm talking to is like, oh, I kick dogs when I see them, or, like
You would be
something
done.
that is not my client.
Yeah.
That is probably not the person I should be talking to. Um, because that's just going to get ugly real fast, right? So,
Right.
and I know that's an extreme example, but if you
Yeah.
can extrapolate that to the smaller examples, it might just be somebody that you just do not have a rapport or chemistry with.
Yeah.
Um, Walk away. That's
Yeah.
that's not your that's not your audience
For
then.
either one, right? Like if it's just not connecting, that's okay. You know,
Right, right.
that's
And,
okay.
and
You're
then,
gonna get a better
again,
candidate.
it's that whole thing where if that's happening too often, you may want to ask yourself if you're in the right field because
Self-reflection,
maybe it's you. But yeah, but take
right?
that, find the cues. And if you're at an event, a lot of times the cues will come from the event itself. What is the event about?
Yep.
Talk about those things. If it's an event with ice cream trucks, you can start the conversation by saying, how many of the ice cream trucks have you already visited? And I'm going to gain 10 pounds today. And, whatever that might look like. And that
Yeah.
might start a conversation. And you're listening for those things that we have in common. It's like any other relationship,
Yep.
that you're trying to find those common threads so you can extrapolate on that and then hopefully work it back. So
Yeah.
if you're in healthcare and the person's talking about the ice cream social and they're lactose intolerant, you can, work that back to, well, do you have a good gastroenterologist or can we help
Right?
with that? Or, whatever that is. So you're always finding those work back ways to connect it.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So this is gonna be the second part. So we're gonna
All
jump
right,
because
I'm
that's what I
ready.
do, right? I
Okay.
just get to business, save
Right, right.
people's time
We
because we're
are trying to be
determined,
more succinct today.
more succinct. So last week we had a bonus engagement planner that we posted with the episode.
Yes. Yes, we did.
This week, we are going to have a bonus, like simple checklist of do's and do nots for the day of event. And so that'll be linked in the event description. And we're going to go over a couple of those today, but we're going to do it on the spot.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm
So
ready.
each of us, we're going to do two of each. So
All
two
right.
do's and two do nots. So Lisa, give me a day of do when it comes
Okay.
to booth engagement and connecting with folks at the event.
Okay, specifically on that topic or just in,
Specifically on event marketing.
okay,
Do's during event marketing the day of at a
okay,
booth.
so the day of the event. So, okay,
Mhm.
repeat your question. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Okay. There were so many like do-dos and do-nots, and
I
yeah, that
know,
was
right?
wild.
Right.
Yeah. So give me one must do
Okay.
at your booth
Okay.
the day of the event.
Follow your plan.
Okay.
So
Come.
you have
Yep.
a plan, follow the plan. Um, we literally, especially before, not so much now,
Yep.
would have a plan that, our goal is to get people to fill out this. And we'd get to the end of the day and we'd visit as a team, and there were like 3 of those filled out because we got busy. And it's not that it's a terrible thing, but we got busy talking with people and
Yep.
connecting with people, and that's all great, but we had no way to follow up. So we
Yep.
didn't stick to the plan. So do number 1, stick to the plan.
Stick to the plan. The second one that I have, so the one that I have is do behave as if you're like the host of the whole event, right? So you smile, you're presenting yourself well, you are like this, you cultivate like a feeling of warmth as people are walking past your booth, like they just have to talk to you. So present yourself as if you're the host and you want to make sure that whoever's walking by is having the best day, because kindness goes a long way and they're more likely to talk to you. They're more likely to walk over and do the thing that you want them to do.
Right.
Um, and, when in doubt, just smile and greet people.
Yeah.
So be
Well,
kind.
and that rolls directly into your next question, which is going to be the do not at the event, right?
Yeah.
So the do not at the event is do not just sit behind your booth and play on your phone or look unapproachable or I mean, I can honestly say I don't care how long the event is. I,
Yeah.
the only reason you might see me sitting is if I had to sit down to reach something or do something for somebody else. You're not
Mhm.
going to see me sitting. We are in front of that booth. We are working the crowd.
Yep.
We are often drawing people back into the booth. If there's enough of us that
Yep.
there's people who can be at the booth and following the plan, that
Yep.
one of us can be out in the crowd saying, have you visited our booth yet? Have you been over there? Have you seen this?
Yep.
And shuttling people back to the booth. You have to be doing that. So do not just sit there like a lump behind your booth.
Yeah. Yep.
Fail, fail.
So I'm gonna kind of jump onto that one a little bit. So the other don't that I have is don't miss the opportunity for engagement outside of your booth. So you gave the example of bringing people back to your
Yep,
booth,
yep,
but oftentimes when you are at a trade show or some form of expo, there are a ton, especially if you're business to business, there are a ton of other vendors there
yeah,
who are dying to talk to you, right?
yep, yep,
And even if that is continuing with what I said with do, like act like the host, right? Like be that person who goes to connect and bring a bottle of water with you. Like
yeah,
don't miss out on that opportunity to engage with those folks because they're like in it with you that
yeah,
day. And
yep.
there's like that commonality where you can connect with one another too.
So, and there are actually not to be overly salesy, but there are actually some really great promo products that can help with that too.
Yeah.
So you can put that water bottle in a koozie. You can, especially for those of us like us, and there's other
Yep.
people for whom this also applies,
Yep.
where the people visiting the event are, of course, part of your target market, but so are the other exhibitors.
Yep.
So don't miss a chance to go support what they're doing, visit them. It goes right along with your be the host, right?
Yep.
Visit with them, take them a lip balm, take them a water, invite them to come to your booth. Take them a branded snack, take them, do something. I had another idea while you were talking. You know how we love sharing like random on the spot ideas. Is,
Yes.
you guys, I get in trouble with my team all the time at events for giving away too many of the big items.
Yeah.
I should just have cards that say like Lisa's in trouble again and send it with people that I'm talking to out and about. Just say,
Yeah.
take this back to my team in the booth. I'll be in trouble for it later, like it says on the
Yeah.
card, but go get
Yeah.
yourself
Go
an
get yourself
extra,
an
you know.
Owala.
Yeah, yeah. Go get yourself an extra special gift and I'll deal with the fallout
Right.
later,
Right. And we're like, Lisa, are they even a qualified lead? And you're like,
Yeah.
no, but they were so nice.
Right, right. Yeah, it'll be one of those things that says, something along the lines of, yeah, like Lisa's in trouble again. Here's a card to give me something that you guys are telling Lisa she shouldn't be giving out so easily
I
or whatever.
love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
It's always fun stuff. So yeah,
Right. I have one more do, and if you
I'm
have
ready.
another do or do not, you're welcome to share.
Okay.
So another do is do utilize under the table space. So
Yes.
store items, extra items, so that everything isn't out on the table, whether that's like print
Yes.
materials, promo materials, samples of anything, if that's your style of business.
Yep.
Making sure that your space looks cleaned up and that you're kind of refreshing throughout the day.
Yep.
So do utilize under the table space.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say like kind of in that, do prepare the day before if at all possible.
Yeah.
Um, you know, we have gotten to events how many times to find out that we didn't have something we needed. So we now have an event go bag. It stays packed all the time. It's always there. It's got the stapler, the tape, the Sharpie, all
Yep.
those things we forget. Deodorant, spot remover, like all that good stuff.
Yep.
And if you can, we always try to look nice at an event, but you also don't want to be hauling stuff in to set up in, heels and your nice outfit. So if you can try to have like a quick change moment as well, so that you've got stuff to wear when you're setting up and then do the quick change before the actual event starts. In your water, stay hydrated, all that good stuff. In your Generate water bottle.
Well, and then when in doubt, don't forget to call Generate for your next engagement plan. So that you
Exactly.
don't have to do it alone, right? That was a nice little plug. Man, we really
That
are
was.
sold today.
We did. We
We
did
did.
good.
We did.
Yeah.
So just a couple of reminders. In the description of this video, there is our kind of comprehensive do's and do nots, the day of the event. Go back and watch part 1 and part 2. And then also like, comment, share. That helps us immensely when it comes to getting more people to see this content, because this content's really helpful and can help businesses of all sizes really thrive in the event space. We hope.
We hope. We think.
Hope. Yeah, we think.
We think.
We think.
We believe it to be.
Right? So next week we'll be wrapping up this event series, and then we have some really exciting content coming up in the next couple of weeks as well. A little different than this, but fun. And so next week we're going to be talking about following up on your leads and making sure that the event did in fact give you a good ROI. And if not, what are you going to do different next time? So you want to sign us out, Lisa?
I will sign us out. Thank you once again for listening and spending a little bit of time with us. We're so excited about what's to come. If we can help you directly on any of your projects and give some ideas for you or your team, please let us know. We would love to bring this show on the road and bring it straight to you and work with your team on some of this back and forth and idea generation.
Well, thanks so much, guys.
Take care.